Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Yungen. Guess we'll just start it out. The color of her hair and the sound of her voice, each time she's around, her topic of choice are the woolly goats of Kashgar, where the winds of China blow. And it's up to us to save them. We should sell our things and go. She shows off her new tattoos of rings around her thighs, and on her arm a pink umbrella and a painted butterfly. A hot day on the 4th of July, stay out of the sun. Maybe that trip to Kashgar is something we should have done. It was the middle of the summer, it's gone before you know. Seems it just got started, now it's time for it to go. We wandered through the crowd of people in the street. The smell of something cooking made us want to eat. There was noise and confusion, a magic, silly game. I turned around and she was gone. Did someone call my name? In the parade, the girls were dancing. They twirled like spinning tops. They were big girls to get moving and big girls to stop. Afterwards, music, a band played in the park. Most of us stuck around to watch the fireworks after dark. Now they say the tomatoes are late again this year, but the corn is in tassel and has silks on the ears. Stop to have an ice cream and eat it in the shade. To autumn, summer has soon began to fade. It was the middle of the summer, it's gone before you know. Seems it just got started, now it's time for it to go. In the middle of the summer, it's gone before you know. Seems it just got started, now it's time for it to go. It's time for it to go. It's time for it to go. Relatively. Rudy met her in the morning, picked her up at 5, drove all the way to Barstow before they saw sunrise. After a stop for breakfast of some donuts and iced tea, they continued across the desert until they reached the Salton Sea. Sarah was barely 21, Rudy was 63. He was the leader of a church, she was in his laity. The scandal caused an uproar and his wife divorced him that year. With all the gossip flying, Rudy and Sarah had to disappear. A rundown cabin in Bombay Beach became their hideaway. Years ago, a paradise, now broken and decayed. Bombay Beach was perfect for the life that they made. When the seabed dried up and the waters withdrew, dust clouds filled the sky when the desert winds blew. Sarah got sick from breathing the toxic, dirty air. She choked up some blood and passed out in her chair. Someone called the ambulance. It took an hour to arrive, but by then poor Sarah was no longer alive. Rudy said a prayer and bowed down to confess. Like the Salton Sea, his life was a mess. Bombay Beach on the Salton Sea, the desert winds are crying. Once a paradise under tall palm trees, the only other thing is dying. That night he had a dream. He saw Sarah waiting there. She looked like the first time he saw her at evening prayer. A wave of shame came over him. He had abused his ministry. The next day they found him dead, dead in the Salton Sea. Bombay Beach on the Salton Sea, the desert winds are crying. Once a paradise under tall palm trees, the only other thing is dying. Bombay Beach on the Salton Sea, the desert winds are crying. Once a paradise under tall palm trees, the only other thing is dying. The only other thing is dying. The only other thing is dying. Thank you. Thank you.